Hey guys, Anthony Speciale here with Hawkeye Traders. Hope everyone's doing well today. Of course, before we jump into what we want to discuss, anything I share with you is for information and educational purposes only. Please do not take anything as live financial advice. It is certainly not. Today, I want to talk to you about a company called Valero Energy Corporation. I have bought and sold this stock over the years, done very well with it. It's given me some tremendous returns, and I just was taking a peek at it on a day trading time frame, and I found a beautiful red top setup, and I want to share it with you just because it was so easy to identify. I knew this stock had more downward momentum. So back here on the left side of the screen where I have my arrow pointing, we see that extremely large, what we call a red top. That's where sellers, came in control. That's where they decided that this market was going to continue in the downward motion that it was. And you can see for consecutive days to follow, the market continued to sell off. So even though this was on an intraday time frame chart, it still signaled a multiple day move. I mean, how much more clearly can you preempt a longer term move on just an intraday chart? So volume tells us this. Volume tells us where the buying and selling comes in, and when we see that large presence of buyers step into the market, we know we're at least in for a short term movement. But in fact, in this case, there was a much longer term movement. So 4 consecutive days following this, what we call red top, the market continued to sell off. Easy to identify, easy to execute, easy to recognize, and I wanted to show this to you because it is just this easy to pick up. Guys, there's no fancy indicators here on the chart. It is our volume paint bar, meaning we're painting each bar with the actual volume that is present. On the bottom of the screen, we just have volume telling us who's stepping into the market where. We can see the larger protruding bars, the larger presence of bars, are all from the selling, especially to the left side of the screen. And it wasn't until that the buyers started to find value on the bottom right side of the screen that they started stepping in, with their presence. But we knew, days in advance that the bias was to the downside. And as you can see, the chart went from the top left to the bottom right. And that is the definition of a downtrend. So with volume, we more easily identify these things, and it helps us to step in and be on the right side of the market. And I just want to share this with you. So this is a quote from Grant Cardone. Many of you may have heard from him. He runs a lot of educational programs based around, money, financial freedom, things of that nature. And he says there's no shortage of money on planet Earth, only a shortage of people really going for it. And what does that mean? People are controlled by two things: fear and money. Believe it or not, fear and money go hand in hand. Some people are afraid of taking the risks that it are involved in getting the money that they're looking for. They're scared of leveraging their own money to make more money. So it really comes down to a personal decision. Do you want to be where you are today, or do you want to be somewhere different tomorrow than you are today? We are all what I call self-made individuals. Seldom it's only the rich and the wealthy and the famous that want to go around and pound their chest and say, "Hey, I'm a self-made millionaire, billionaire, quadrillionaire, whatever." Less successful people, middle class people, people who are struggling, they don't want to admit that they're self-made, when in reality is their life is a byproduct of their choices. They don't want to walk around because they don't wear it as a badge of honor. They're not proud that they haven't done what they've hoped with their life. And it's disappointing because it really only comes down to a choice. So what he's saying here is the shortage of people that are willing to go for it. Like, are you willing to take the next step? Are you willing to risk, the normal to be above average? And it's really comes down to just a decision. It comes down to consistency. It comes down to discipline. It comes down to making a choice. And it's making a good choice over and over and over again. So many people say, "Oh, but I did this right." But you can't do one thing right and do 15 things wrong and expect to have the right outcome. So life is a series of choices, and those series of choices have byproducts, whether they're consequences or rewards. You just have to make the right choice that gets you closer to your goal over and over and over again. And that will take you to wherever you want to be. And for me, money has become about freedom, not so much about materialistic things. I don't care about a fancy car. I don't care about a big house. I don't care if the neighbor thinks that I'm rich or not. It doesn't matter to me. What I know is that I can go to sleep at night, wake up the next morning, and if for some reason that day I don't make any money, it's okay, because I got enough in the bank that I'll carry me through that day and the next day and many days and weeks and months and years beyond that. And that to me is where that's what the value of money is to me. It's about freedom. It's about security. And that's a personal preference. And each of you will find that too. Some of you want to have a yacht, some of you want to have a plane, some of you want to have a helicopter, whatever. Whatever money does for you, that's fine. But it's just a choice to get the money, and it's a choice that most people are afraid to make. And it's just a choice. It's consistency, it's discipline, it's making the good, right, hard choice over and over and over again. And I want to share that with you today. So speaking about choices, if you are prepared to move forward, if you're prepared to take, your financial freedom, in your own reins, your own hands, I encourage you, I implore you, I ask you to click the link below, watch the VSwarm webinar. This training event will share with you and give you the insight to how we utilize volume to predict price action before it happens in the marketplace. So I show you tidbits every day of how we utilize volume and our software indicators to earn livings, to earn profit, to build wealth. And I invite you to click the link below, watch the VSwarm, which is a little more of an in-depth training, and it will give you the opportunity to just see example after example after example of how we can take the product, take the volume, take the indicators, and monetize that into giving us a return on investment over and over and over again. So with that, guys, click the link below, check out the webinar, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.